And we are back with OK Run Show week 4, I believe. Week 4-ish.
Something like
About
that.
a
Yeah.
month into the season, still like 7 weeks to go, something like that.
hmm
Sean, how's it going?
It's going, man. We're here.
We're here. How's school as a psychology major? And you're basically in your last year-ish
We're getting there.
school?
Yeah. It's kind of off of credit, so it's a little bit off.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, it's
but
pretty good. We're learning about all types of things. So,
yeah, you got your favorite thing you've had this school year to learn
uh,
about? Have
learned
you had like
about
anything stick
anxiety
out?
and depression, and the different
All right.
types of depression, and it was pretty depressing. But we're we're
I
here.
can feel I have taken a bunch of psychology classes because they
Yeah.
were easy electives to take.
hmm Yeah.
And there's some times where you're like, Jesus, my cat is lying around my feet right now.
I'm sorry,
Um,
man.
but yeah, there's certainly some dark subjects of psychology, especially when you get into them.
hmm
But yeah, so coming off of about a week ago, Roger State's obviously the first big one.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
fast course. It's I think it's in the debate for fastest course in the state. That we can verify is also the proper length.
I
Like
don't know. I mean, yeah, it's
that
kind
we
of
can
has to be.
also
It's flat the
verify
entire
like
time,
yeah,
and
like Cherokee. I was just telling Sean before we got rolling. This is my favorite meet of the year because it is a wildly undermeasured um
yeah.
meet that is probably I think it's 2.7, 2.8. Winner this year ran 14:56. He's like a 16:20 guy. I think at Rogers State he's a 16-minute guy. I think Rogers
hmm
State course is that fast. But yeah, Rogers State's blisteringly fast course. Sean, kind of give us some of the highlights of that.
Oh boy,
What kind of
Roger
stuck out to
State. Let
you?
me share my screen.
All
Actually, that's
right,
probably the best way
go
to go
ahead.
about this,
Go ahead. Go
and we can
ahead.
talk about it. Can you see this?
I can now.
All right. So
Uh,
this is I would say these like where kind of someone should be here. Clay McKinney should
Clay
be in
McKinney
here.
should be in there. Yes.
I don't know what happened with these
Yeah.
results because if you're on like OHS, he's in there.
Right.
So he should be second, and he ran 15:27.
Right.
But I mean, that's 15:26, 15:27. So now that's three people that have kind of hit that time barrier. So pretty good. And then also I wanted to point out that Piedmont had like their top three dudes are under 15:55, and then their other two were 16:06 and 16:10. So that's pretty
Freshman
tough
number
to
five
beat.
guy
I mean,
coming through.
it's pretty early on still, but when you have five guys that are right there, I mean, that's going to be pretty hard to beat that state. What about you, Colin? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean the depth of Piedmont again. They kind of just
And I
ball don't
mean,
lie. We're
you
still
got,
crushing everybody.
and then right
It
here, 16:18, 16:20.
it will be certainly a more interesting race for second this year at 6A State. And
Mm-hmm.
when let's flip over to the girls. Nothing that kind of popped out to me there, kind of last second, but you can keep going. Jacob Tiger out of Tahlequah,
Yeah,
kind of
I
the
saw
guy.
that too.
He was kind of always of course Trey Baker, great state champion, 5A record holder, I
hmm
believe, at least in the 800 on the track. I believe he's there. That's what I think he did get that at state track. But then another guy to come through, that's good. He kind of played second fiddle behind him last year, but it's good to see him kind of shine again under 16. Makes 5A a little more interesting. You have obviously the Bishop Kelly boys. Bishop Kelly still doesn't have their normal number one out there. Waiting to
hmm
see kind of where he's at when he does return. We're obviously hoping he returns. We'd like to see it. He's very good. Um, but also makes kind of the depth of the 5A feel a little better. So that was good to see. Girls side, you want to go, Sean? You want to tell us what you see?
Oh man. Well, we got 17:48. She ran 17:29 at state last season. I can see her going faster, but it's just going to have to depend. And I think also for when it comes to that time, are there going to be, other athletes that are kind of like 17:45, 17:40, 17:30s in order to push her to run faster?
She kind of spoke on this a little bit in her interview,
Hmm.
but what she said was like her goal of this race was, all right, I'm gonna run with the pack because a lot of these other girls are your other top
Yeah.
10. I mean, there's like the next 6 girls are all in that top 10 list.
Hmm.
Um, so she kind of just decided, all right, I'm gonna just settle with the pack. I'm gonna run, and then kind of over that last lap was like, all right, I'm gonna show you guys that I can still beat you
Yeah.
guys. Like you guys, I'm sure there was at least some girl in that pack that was like, oh, I might be able to beat Bella Nelson today. I'm still with her, and we're on the last lap,
Hmm.
and then Bella Nelson proves this. Like, I'm just gonna toy with the field.
Yeah.
It's like my cat back here pushing her toy around the floor. Like it's yeah. I think at state, you're obviously going to be more likely to see her just like open it up, let it rip. Or
Hmm.
if Owasso travels somewhere like to Texas, I don't know if
Maybe
they
so.
have any
Yeah.
plans of that, or potentially a postseason meet for her if she goes to an NXN. NXN is not known for being fast. It's not a fast course. It's very tight and discombobulated. But the Foot Locker, oh man, I cannot speak. Foot Locker South course is a fast course.
Yeah.
It is a fast course. So if she did go there, you could possibly see her running. I don't know. Maybe Sean, you'll remember this. What the fastest 5K run for an Oklahoma girl is? Do you know that off the top of your head? I didn't know if
Uh,
maybe.
it'd be Caden Dawson with like a 16:50 something.
Okay, did she do that like running lane?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe that was that like the COVID-ish year running lane one?
Yeah, it was
The
something like
first year
that.
of running
I
lane where
think it
they
would have
like
been 2021.
2021. Yeah, it's that first
Yeah.
kind of running lane that happened that was
Hmm.
super quick, which I mean, it's always quick out there. That course as
Yeah.
well at Huntsville, I have actually run that course and it is fast. It can
Hmm.
certainly shape up to be a fast course, but it's not nearly as fast, I think, as this course could be if you put the same girls on it. This course, if you lined up the best girls in the nation in that case on this course, I think they run quicker because
Yeah.
it's literally purpose built to run fast. Move to the
Mhm.
small schools. Let's look at them because there were some good
Wait,
results
there's
there as
one
well.
more thing.
Go
A
ahead.
freshman ran 18:09. Peyton Childers.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm interested to see if that's the fastest 5K ever by a freshman because
I don't know of any.
the only
There may have
person
been
I can
somebody come
imagine
through
in recent
quicker.
history would be Peyton
Mm-hmm.
Hinkle. And I don't know if she ran that fast when she was a
I
freshman,
don't know. It would be
but
interesting to look into.
it would.
Yeah, move over to the other races we had on the night. All right, we can scroll down. Rejoice looked super good as a team. They're
Hmm.
shaping up really nicely to be
You mean Regent?
very sorry, yeah, Regent. I read Rejoice
Yeah.
right above the Regent there, and Regent is definitely shaping up to be kind of your two-way favorites. Hooker doesn't
Hmm.
look good right now, but Hooker kind of like Guyman. They never look good during the regular season, and then they show up at state and they crush. But this is Regent prep minus Clay McKinney because he was in the faster race.
Yeah.
And they were that's gonna be tough because what
16:59
a
for a freshman, 17:07, 17:20 for a freshman.
they're okay, 17:47. That's gonna be tough to beat in 2A as your number 5. That's gonna
Yeah.
be tough. Let alone that you're gonna basically need to put all of Hooker's gonna need to put all their guys around 17 minutes flat. Not just
Hmm.
like their top 1 or 2 guys. They're gonna need to put basically everybody in that area to have a chance because none of them are gonna catch Clay McKinney.
Yeah.
And you're gonna just have to hope you can kind of 5v4 win it and win it pretty handedly.
Hmm.
5v4. But yeah, Metro Christian, dude's looking good for 3A, I believe. I believe they're so we didn't think we were gonna run into this first year with like big class reassignments, but Metro Christian and their boys and girls are split. Their girls, I believe, are 4A, their boys are 3A. Sam
That
Cox
makes it
Rejoice
complicated.
might also be 3A. If I can remember right, Samuel Cox might be 3A as well, but he also might be 2A. at this point. I know Rejoice at one point was 2A, but they have moved up, and I don't know if they moved back. Let's flip to the girls. Why not? Let's talk to. Let's see it. See it happen. 2 mile open girls. It's going to be big one's going to be really dominant performance of a freshman, Gwen Pierce, who ran
Yes, I'm sorry.
11 11:46. Sean's real popular right now. Everybody's texting him.
No,
He's doing 3 things at once. All the ladies are after him
I'll
right
be right back.
now. He's got to go do something. All right, so I'm gonna talk. And since we have this screen shared, I'll just talk about this race way too much. Tulsa Noah, I think it has her list. Oh, it has her listed as a 10th grader. She was listed as a freshman last week. So one of those two is wrong. Tulsa Noah is not an OSSAA school, so you will not see her at state. You will not see her chase any state records. I don't think she could even qualify for any outright state records if one day she does get there. 11:46 is super quick. You don't really get to see many sub 12-minute performances in the
Sorry.
2 mile. I think the one class you may see it this year is the 4A girls. I think they have the talent and the caliber to get under there. Lucy O'Day kind of cements herself as the A favorite. Casca Hall, I believe, is also not an OSSA school, right? Trying to make sure I get that correct.
I think so,
I believe
but
they're not.
on that.
I believe they compete out of a league in Arkansas, same as Tulsa Noah. I believe the same league even.
Mhm.
So you won't see them at state. But then Riley Hodges, 12:07. 12:07 super quick, but she's gonna have the likes of the Pauls Valley girls and the Lincoln Christian girls to battle. Pauls Valley looked great at the ECU meet, I believe they ran at.
Mm, yeah,
They looked very good as a team, and I do think that the battle between them and Lincoln Christian will be very good. And I'll probably talk about that a little bit more in my article coming out tomorrow. Um, but yeah, that's I believe it for the Rogers State meet because
it
I
for
don't think
Rogers. Yeah,
yeah. So the other big meet was I believe Westmore. We talked about that, and we are. Do you have the Westmore results we could pull up? A little bit of
I
potentially
will get that pulled up soon.
a little bit of
Yeah.
controversy to give some people some context who maybe are just reading the results. Allegedly, the girls took a wrong turn on the course for sure and ran about 3 miles. The men may have also made the same mistake. The car may have also made the same mistake. So potentially 3 miles, but also maybe 5K. We haven't exactly heard if that happened as well. But some pretty quick times nonetheless, even if it is just 3 miles. If we scroll down, Ed Memorial kind of just dominated 27 points. Um, Sienna Collins is back. She's kind of been their number one, looked to be their top returner,
Mhm.
looks to be a top 10 girl. 17:42. If that's a 3 mile, still really good at about 40 seconds ish. If you add about 40 seconds, that puts her at 18:22. 18:22.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you know the Westmore course by chance?
I
Know
honestly,
maybe what it's
I don't
like?
think I've ever even. No,
I
I
didn't know they
don't.
had a course. I just know
I
Moore does
neither.
the war run on the streets, and that's
Mhm.
about it. But let's say it is a 3 mile, 18:20. That's like a lot of those girls that ran 18 flat
Yeah.
at Rogers. That Rogers course is fast. It's like you're running on a track, just it happens to be grass and you get a turn right
Mhm.
every now and then. Um,
And for
moving
the
on to the
guys,
boys,
Edmund
Edmund
Santa
Santa Fe came through, winning it there in 57. Maxton Barker, if they ran full 5K, officially a sub 16, which is a great performance. But let's say they didn't, add about 35-ish seconds to their times. And he runs, what is that? Like 16:20. Still a
more
pretty
or
good
less.
day.
Yeah.
Still a really good day, honestly. Levi Haynes, Community Christian, he kind of looked to be the front runner for I believe the 3A crown. That continues. But Billy Mathis and Sam Rhodes of
Mhm.
Cassidy, they got two guys hot on his tail. This will be interesting because that looks to be a really good 3A squad out of Cassidy. I don't know how they finished as a team, but potentially that could be your 3A state champions. I didn't really know who would maybe be the 3A champs, but it does look like they are shaping up very, very well. Um, Yeah, possibly 216 flat-ish guys. Kind of makes you tough to beat there. I believe that's the only kind of big results of the weekend. There's some small results
Anything
here and there. Guthrie always has to meet
about
Edmond
three.
North. This is kind of the difference
Well,
between a team.
I mean,
Emma
Emma
Johnson.
Johnson ran 18-19.
Yeah, exactly, which is not shocking. We saw how she placed at Deer Creek. She beat a lot
Mm-hmm.
of really good girls. If she goes to Rogers, she sneaks under 18 minutes.
Yeah.
She'd be like a 17:58 girl.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of shows the difference between like an Edmond North, like the points wise, they scored 18. And then the Guthrie girls are a good 5A school. So that's
15:57.
how,
Will Morning.
yeah, Will Morning. I have run this course my
Is it
senior year.
accurate?
I believe it's accurate. I believe it's
Yeah.
pretty close, if not. 15:57. I'm not too shocked about it. I'm happy to see him get under 16. I believe he was just shy of it.
He was 16 flat. Yeah.
He was 16 flat. So it's always good to get that first one out of the way. Once you get that first one out of the way, it's kind of that mental barrier of like, oh, 16 minutes is so fast. Goes out your brain and you start doing it on a more frequent basis. So good to see that as well. I believe them and North Boys kind of took care of business there. They had a pretty strong kind of front end, really propelled them to the victory. Yeah, I think that's kind of the big results.
Yeah.
Sean and I aren't traveling this weekend. We will not be at a meet.
Mm.
The next one we're going to be at, I believe, is Oklahoma State, which is in 2 weeks. A week?
It's September 28th. So
Whenever that is, however many weeks away that is. Um,
that's 17 days away. So like 2.5.
2.5 weeks. Yeah. We'll be there for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And we'd love to see you guys there.
For sure.
Sean, I've been doing this every week, and you gotta just keep going with it.
All right.
Any just life advice for the kids? You know, how like state editor, got to be a wise man to be the Miles Split state editor. He's a senior in college. He's a
Oh
psychology
man.
major.
Oh
He studies
man.
all this stuff. He's a real smart guy. What's your life advice to the
Oh
kids of the
man.
week?
See, you do this every time, and
I
I
do
always
it,
forget
and
that you're gonna do it. So now
it's
I'm
been a
on the
running
spot.
theme this season.
Um,
Um,
I would say, oh, dadgummit. Well, be patient always.
3 words.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, it's time to end, everybody. We will see you next week, maybe in less than a week if we have the time on Monday or Tuesday instead of a Wednesday night. But hey, we will see you when we see you. All
Yes,
right.
sir. See you guys.
See ya.